Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tangle Time Arts. My name is Nana Heron, and I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And this week's Tangle, I think we're on week 27. I thought we'd take a look at one of the more basic tangles and take a look at Hollibaugh. And we're going to pair that with uh, Küle, which we've taken a look at before, but we're going to go in the opposite direction from how we did it before. So for this project, you'll need basic supplies. You'll need a white tile, a black pen. I'm using the Apprentice pen, my favorite. A number 2 pencil, a tortillon, and you'll either need a compass or something round to draw a circle with. All right, once you have your tools assembled and your paper, take a moment to familiarize yourself with those items, and we're going to start with our plain white paper here and our compass or something to draw a circle on. You want something that's going to be about just over 2 inches in diameter. So I am just kind of eyeballing it as far as the center is, and then I'm just going to draw my circle in. If you want to work a little bigger, you can. Um, there we go. Got our circle in there. And now you can set your compass aside, and we're going to work with our black pen. So last time when we did Küle, we kind of worked towards the center. This time we're going to work our way out. And I'm just going to start kind of at the top here. And I am going to put in, it kind of starts like crescent moon with a half ladybug shape. So I'm putting that right on the circle, and then I'm going to follow the circle almost all the way over uh, to where we started, but not quite. And then we want to aura on the inside like that. And then we're going to do that all the way around. So we're starting with Küle, and then we will get to Hollibaugh in just a little bit. So you want to leave a little bit of space between your half ladybug shapes. And it goes pretty quickly here. And your little ladybug shapes might be larger than mine or smaller. Mine are about kind of the size of the same as my pen cap. So not that big, really. And you don't have to worry about all of your ladybug shapes being the same size. They should be approximately the same size, but they don't have to be exact. I think at this point I can fit 2 more in here. You really have to plan when you get close to the end, which is right next to the beginning. All right, so we've made it all the way around. And this is kind of going to turn into a little bit sort of like a flower. So it's kind of going to be like Zentangle Inspired Art. And we're going to put our Hollibaugh in the center. So we're going to do another row of the Küle. And what we're going to do is we're going to put another half ladybug shape in here, but we're not going to touch the tops of the other ones. So we're going to start a little bit above, just off to the center, and go over to the other one, a little bit above and off from the center. And this is all about the aura. We're going to aura on the outside of the other ones and come up, but don't touch where you started. So you want to come up close to it, but not quite touching. And then aura on the inside. So Küle is a tangle that's really all about the aura. Aura is very important. And as we work our way out, these are getting bigger than what we initially had. When we did this tangle the other time, they got smaller as we did our other rows. Now they're getting a little bigger. Both ways are fun. You just have to be aware of, are the shapes growing or are they becoming smaller? We're always starting a little off center and going over to the other one, which is also off center. And we kind of bounce around there, but it's always about the aura. And we're right back to where we started. And we'll just tuck this last one in there. How are you doing? Are you making your way around? So I'm going to, we could do another row of Küle. And I guess we could go ahead and do that. If you like just two, you can leave it at that, but I think I could fit in a third row. It'll be a little tight, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we do have this flower look starting to happen here. So I'm going to start over here. It's a little bigger. And again, you're floating that above the previous row, but not touching. And then you're going to aura. And again, these are going to be a little bigger than the previous row because we're working our way out, so we have more space. So when you're working your way around the circle like this, don't forget to rotate your tile, which is really important. And we're back where we all started. All right, so that was 3 rows of Küle, and now we're going to work our way in. And I kind of like to separate the 2 tangles we're featuring with a ring of orbs. And you can start anywhere you'd like. So I'm just going to start on the side here. And I'm going to put in just an orb. And then I'm going to work my way around the entire circle. And for this one, I especially like to go around once and then twice, just to really emphasize the orb shape. I'm not worrying about making them exactly the same size. Some are a little bigger and some are a little smaller. And I think that's what makes them really stand out, is they're each unique in their own way. So we're coming close to where we started, and so we have to plan a little bit as to how big or small we're going to make our orbs so that they can fit in there. And that last one was a little bit small, but that's fine. Like I said, they're all beautiful in their own way. And then at this point, you have the option of kind of filling in these spaces if you'd like, going around the circle. You don't have to. Since I started, I'm going to go all the way around and do it. That this is kind of an optional step. All right, so I made it all the way around. And like I said, that was optional. You wouldn't have to do that. But it does make the circle of orbs or perfs or tipple or however you like to call it, kind of stand out a little more. And now we're going to put our Hollibaugh on the inside. Um, and Hollibaugh is one of those very basic tangles that most of you probably learned in an introductory class, but I thought it'd be fun just to take a look at it here and to highlight Hollibaugh because it's a fun one to use. I use it a lot, actually. It's great for large spaces. And you can mix it up. You don't have to do straight lines. You could do curves as well, but I'm going to use straight lines today. So somewhere in your inner circle here, you're going to draw a line from one side to the other. You could do it on a third of it or through the half of it. Um, it doesn't matter really, but I'm going to roughly go sort of through the halfway point. I'm just going from one end to the other. And then I'm going to aura that. And I think I'll make this not quite as wide as my pen, maybe a little less than that. But I want the two parallel lines. So I made the first line and then I did an aura of that. And then we're going to leave that for now. And I'm going to rotate my tile and I'm going to make another line. So I'm going to start here and I want to still get over to the other side. But when I meet that first, kind of like matchsticks here, when I meet that first one, I'm going to lift my pen up, air dry over to the other side, and then keep going. All right, so let's give that a try. You can start anywhere you want. And then we're going to head on over to the other side, but I've got this here, so I'm going to pick up my pen, go over to the other side, and then keep going. Now I'm going to aura that, but I have to decide, do I want to make this sort of matchstick the same width as this one? And you can, but I don't want to. I'm going to make this one thinner. So I'm going to go about like that. And then I'm going to rotate my tile again. And I think I'm going to this time go that way. So you can randomly put in your little matchsticks in whatever direction you'd like to. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. But just remember that when you meet up with another one, you're going to lift up your pen and then continue on the other side. All right, let's see. How about I go this way through several of them? I'm going to make this one skinny. So now we're getting this layered look. And the real magic comes when we shade this. Let's see. Sometimes it helps to rotate your tile around to figure out where you want to put your next little matchstick. Like that. And you can stop there or you can add more. I'm trying to decide how many more I would like to add. And again, it really helps to rotate your tile or to hold it up at arm's length and rotate your tile. I'll put one here. Like that. And I don't even really keep track of counting. I just put them in until I feel like I have enough. And I think I'm at that point where I feel like I have enough of them. And I'm going to stop there. You might like to add one or two more. That's up to you. At this point, I'm going to finish off by adding a little bit of tipple on the inside of these spaces. So there's different things that you can do with Hollibaugh because you get these lovely spaces in here. And some people like to add just like lines, or they like to take a wider black pen and ink that all in with black. I actually prefer to add some tipple strategically here and there. So I am going to do that now. And when I do this, I definitely have different sizes of the little orbs. And there's no rules here, so you can put them wherever you would like to put them, or not. This is also optional. So if you would prefer at this point just to put lines in there or to leave them empty, that is totally up to you. But it definitely helps to rotate and really take your time to place them strategically. So I kind of like to keep them on the inside here. If you would like to add them to places like here or here, you absolutely can. But I think this is enough for me. Maybe I'll add one more here. And then like we did around the outside of these orbs, I'm going to ink in these little spaces here. And again, that's optional as well. So you have a lot of options today, which is great because you can really make it your own. All right. So I'm going to leave that as is. And I think I'm going to switch to shading now. So I'm going to put the cap on my pen and I'm going to pick up my sweet little Zentangle pencil here, which is a number 2. So any number 2 pencil is fine. But these are just the right size and are fun to use. All right, I'm going to start shading from the inside out. And I'm going to shade the Hollibaugh first. And the way I like to do it is start with the original matchstick. And I like to pick a side. Some people like to shade both sides, but I very much like to pick a side. So I am going to start shading on the outside of this one, like that. And I go right over those matchsticks that are now under it. Okay, and then I'm going to look for matchsticks that are kind of the same angle as this one. So I have one up here. And now with this one, just like we did with our pen, when I meet up with this other matchstick, I'm going to pick up my pencil and go to the other side. So I'm not shading over it. you want to pick up your pencil and go to the other side. And then I'm also going to shade this one. All right, now I'm going to rotate my tile and work on matchsticks that go a different way. I think I'll work on these two. And I'm picking this, I guess I would call it kind of like the bottom side. All right, and then we have one going this way, and I think I will work on this side. So what I would say the easiest way is to really follow your ink line and just do the same as what your ink line does. All right. And I think I got them all. Again, I'm going to rotate and just make sure. And we can always add more shading later if we find that we missed a spot. All right, I'm going to add shading around the tipple here. And I'm going to do that all the way around. And I'm just going to go over the Hollibaugh matchsticks as well. So I'm adding a little pressure with when I put the graphite on here, the pencil, so that you can see that on the camera. But I always advise people to work lighter at first because you can always add more and then go darker with it. What you really can't do is take it away. All right. I think we made it all the way around. And then I'm going to work on this part here. So these now have become, they almost look like petals of a flower. And I am going to start on the outside first. And I'm going to add some shading, but I'm kind of creating an additional, it's like I'm adding the shading, but I'm also doing that in an aura fashion. So I'm not coming right up to the ink. Like that. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of shading kind of in these areas that are points. So I'm just putting the graphite in the areas that are the aura areas, but only at the points. And I'm going to do that for this row as well. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a good day. It was kind of a busy day for me with lots of rain too. All right, I think I made it all the way around. And at this point, I'm going to set my pencil aside. We can always pick it up and add more later if we need to. And I'm going to use a tortillon. If you don't have a tortillon, you could use a Q-tip, or you can even use your fingertip there. And I'm going to start again on the inside and work my way out. So I'm starting with the original, the first matchstick that we put in. And I am just rubbing the tortillon back and forth along the graphite and along the ink line there. And you can see that kind of blend out. All right, and then I'm going to do this one here. And this one. And I'm really just rotating the tile so that I can access all of them comfortably. And I think that's all. And then we're going to work on the next step, which is out a little bit more. And we're going to go along this area here. There we go. And now you can see once you've got your shading in, it really has this layered, it has this depth to it. And that's true with putting this in too. So we have these different layers in there, which is really cool actually. So shading really is magic. At least I think so. All right, so now I'm going to take a look at these shaded areas, which are in the kind of the valleys. And then we'll do the next layer as well. And with shading, a lot of times it really is personal preference, how dark you want to go and how much you want to add and where. With a lot of the tangles, there's different ways you can shade. There's no right or wrong way. All right, and once you've made it all the way around there, then we're going to go and work on the outside here. I'm just making sure I have everything here. All right, I think that was it. And tip the camera, make sure it's dark enough for you to see, and I think it is. And so there we have our, it really reminds me of a flower. But or I guess it could kind of look like a brooch. Um, but I think of it as a flower. I just love the way that we have layers here, and then we have almost like these petals coming out. At this point, if you would like to add more shading, you can go ahead and do so. I'm happy with the shading on this one, so I'm going to leave it as is. I am going to, with my pen, I am going to add my initials, and that is always something that I consider, like, where would I like to put them? Because I like to kind of work it in. So I think I'm going to put mine here, like that. All right. You might want to put yours along here or in a corner or somewhere else in there. And then I like to fill out the back with my name and the date. So we have 7/7/24. This is our weekly tangle. I think it's number 27. So we're in the second half of the year already. And this was Hollibaugh. All right. And just like that, we are finished. I do want to show you that I also did do this on a different piece of paper. I was experimenting with some scrapbooking paper, which is kind of cool, but the texture is very different. And I did use some metallic gel pens. The paper is cut a little larger, so, but it's basically the same. And I'm going to kind of move that around a little bit so you can see it a little better because of the metallic kind of has a glare. But with this one, I use different colors. And I also shaded in the little tipple on the inside. And with some of my Hollibaugh, I did embellish with different techniques like stripes or dashes, or even adding the orbs inside one of the matchsticks. So it's fun to play with color and different textures. This paper was very different to when I did the shading and the blending with the tortillon. And it also has a definite texture to it. It's not smooth. So side by side, you can kind of decide, what you'd like to experiment with. I like both really well. It's hard for me to decide, but I am kind of partial to the original materials, the black on the white tile. Um, but I do love playing with color as well. So yeah, play around with it, have fun with it. This is a super easy one, a fun one, and it's very pretty. So you could use this just for fun, or maybe use it as a project to frame. All right, thank you for joining me today. It's been fun. This was a really fun one to do with you guys. So I hope you all are doing well and staying healthy and enjoying the summer. And I'll see you next week. And remember, I love you guys. Take care.